Not long ago, Ronald Araujo was an untouchable pillar of Barcelona's defense, a fan favorite, an icon. Today he finds himself at the center of brutal criticism. The loss to Inter, which shattered Barca's Champions League dreams, has sparked a serious question. Is this the end of the Araujo era at Camp Nou? Spanish media didn't hold back. Some headlines even called him a death sentence for Barcelona. And this wasn't just a bad game. The Inter match raised doubts about the very foundation of his future at the club. Is there still a chance for Ronald, or has his future at Barça become impossible? We need to talk about Ronald Araujo now, let's go! After the Inter match, the phrase "Gundogan was right" trended across X. A callback to last spring's UCL elimination, and yes, Ronald Araujo cost Barça the Champions League in 2 straight years. Following the home loss to PSG, then Barça midfielder Ilkay Gundogan said this to CBS. "I am very disappointed because we were in such a good position, not just after the first leg, but scoring the first goal as well. Everything was in our hands and we just gave it away in the most simple manner. To get a red card, to go a player down so early, it just kills the game. We just gave it to PSG, and that is the most disappointing part."
Very frustrated, very disappointed.
Ronald Araujo declined to comment on his teammates' words. "I prefer to keep to myself what I think about Gundogan's comments. I have certain values and they have to be respected." But after the Inter match, journalist Miguel Blasquez couldn't ignore the déjà vu. "You come on fresh from the bench after watching Íñigo Martínez give everything, and yet you step onto San Siro with a cold detachment like you're there to watch, not fight. Araujo's lack of concentration is unworthy of a player fighting for glory with Barça," Gundogan warned us. And it looks like Ronald didn't learn. This was his post-match comment. "Do you think I lacked forcefulness? On the 3rd goal I'm marking a Serbi, I'm ahead, and on the 4th in football there's coverage from others and those plays get solved. That is not the reaction you expect from one of the team's captains. Something's wrong." The media has pointed fingers, and Araujo is in the spotlight. Javier Siles from AS wrote in his column, "Araujo beat Barcelona. Flick's side pulled off a stunning comeback, only to throw it away due to Araujo's sluggishness and tactical errors. Everyone feared Barça would collapse in Europe due to their extreme defending, but it was Araujo's hesitation inside his own box that finished them off. Araujo is a confusing piece in a team with a clear identity." Other outlets were even more ruthless. Claro put it like this: "Flick brought him on to secure the win. Instead, Araujo scored 2 for Inter." Sport.yes also slammed his performance. "Came on to add stability but was involved in the 3-3 goal, outpaced by a Serbi, and again in the 4-3 when Thuram pulled him out of position. Had a chance to redeem himself in stoppage time, but it just wasn't his night." Javi Miguel added, "Flick is human and makes mistakes. Choosing Araujo over Christensen was clearly one of them." Uruguayan outlet Montevideo ran with the headline, "Spanish media slam Ronald Araujo, the Uruguayan became a death sentence for Barcelona." On social media, things turned ugly. "We were 2 minutes from the UCL final and Araujo couldn't beat a 37-year-old. Sell Araujo, how many times do I have to say it? My hate for Araujo has surpassed my hate for Ter Stegen. He's thrown away another UCL knockout, no more excuses." Araujo eventually disabled comments due to harassment. Among the messages, "You're a mix of Maguire and Oriol Romeu. Get out of my club. 2 goals from your zone." But in the end, it all comes down to this. Araujo just didn't get into the game. Not like Flick expected, not like the fans hoped. It was a substitution that might have ruined his legacy at Barça. Fans now openly want him out. One even contrasted him with Íñigo Martínez. "This picture alone makes Íñigo a legend. He's been here less than 2 years but shown more heart than that man from Uruguay, standing up for what's right. A real warrior." Another fan noted Araujo didn't even protest the 3rd goal, despite a clear foul on Gerard Martin. Ronald later admitted the ref's mistakes affected the result. Of course, it's unfair to blame the whole loss solely on Araujo. There were controversial calls by the referee that could have changed everything, but maybe all of this happened for a reason. All signs point to a summer departure. In January, Araujo was close to joining Juventus. After recovering from injury, he realized that Cubarsí and Íñigo Martínez had overtaken him. The ironclad starter status he enjoyed under Xavi was gone. Talks with Juve were serious, but they couldn't meet Barca's demands. They wanted a loan with buy option. Laporta would only sell for 50 million euros. Insiders say Ronald had already agreed to the move. Since then, Araujo had a few standout games versus Real Madrid in the Supercopa versus Benfica in the UCL knockouts. He remained a key part of the rotation, but can he grow further? At 26, he's in his prime, yet doesn't seem to fit Flick's system. He struggles in a high line and has issues with offside traps. His passing hasn't improved. Kubarsi, Inigo, Christensen, and even Eric Garcia outshine him there. Now that Christensen is back, Araujo might actually be the weakest of all central defenders, aside from his physicality. But even that failed him against Inter. His stats and overall impact on the team have dropped significantly this season, and you can clearly see that in our app by opening the player's profile and tapping the statistics tab. By the way, make sure to download the app. It gives you full player stats just a few taps away. The link is in the pinned comment. And Barca's youth team is bursting with defensive talent, winners of the UEFA Youth League like Eman Cospo and Andres Cuenca. Barca's centre-back department is overloaded. Selling Araujo would make sense. The club quietly planned for this. When his contract was extended in January, the buyout clause was slashed from 1 billion euros to 65 million euros. That figure is manageable for Premier League clubs. Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea are the front-runners, with PSG, Bayern, Inter and Juventus also linked. And don't forget the big money offers from Saudi Arabia. It's time to sell a former defensive leader. And it hurts, because this isn't just any players, this is a symbol. When Barca were falling, Araujo held them up. When things were shaky, he stood tall. His duels with Vinicius? Legendary. Those weren't matches, they were battles. And Ronald won them for all of us. We remember him next to Messi in the 2021 Copa del Rey final. Young but ready. The 2022/23 title-winning back four. Balde, Araujo, Christensen, Koundé, solid as granite. Xavi's team believed again, and Ronald was its heart. That's why he became a captain. For his spirit, his work, his fire, the warrior mentality, that was him. But something changed. He's not the same. Mistakes, nerves, cracks in confidence. Not because he got worse. Something broke inside. Maybe it was the injury in summer 2024. Maybe the chemistry with Flick never clicked. But in this new Barca, Araujo no longer fits. He needs a new challenge, and we need a new hero. But we will never forget who he was. Thank you, Captain. Kool-Aids, what do you think about the Ronald Araujo situation? Let us know in the comments. Hit like if you agree his best days at Barca are behind him. And subscribe if you're a true Blaugrana fan. Love Barca and Visca el Barça. Bye.